Hello dear aspirants, I am Pratiksha Chauhan. Welcome to Arpita Sharma classes, a platform where you get quality classes free of cost, covering important subjects from the perspective of UPSC. We are going to cover fundamental rights. Before we start, here is a small announcement for all of you. An Academy has launched new batches for UPSC CSE examination for 2021, 22 and 23 exams. The new batches are starting from 25th Jan. We have 6 months course, 1 year batch and 2 year batches in Hindi, English and bilingual languages. NCERT batches are also starting from 25th Jan 2021. This is a chance for you to crack UPSC with structured guidance in your first attempt. Subscribe now and use code SHARMA20 to get 10% discount on your subscription. Link is given below in the description box. अभी तक हमने फंडामेंटल राइट्स के आर्टिकल 14 से लेके आर्टिकल 18 के बारे में पढ़ा। अब हम कुछ और फंडामेंटल राइट्स के बारे में पढ़ते हैं। पहला आर्टिकल है राइट टू फ्रीडम विच इज फ्रॉम आर्टिकल 19 to 22. Article 19 which state all citizens have the right to freedom of speech and expression, assemble peacefully and without arms, मतलब without disturbance, form associations or unions, that means there should be an unity, move freely throughout the territory of India, reside and settle in any part of the territory of India, मतलब उन्हें पूरा अधिकार है वो कहीं भी पूरे इंडिया में रह सकते हैं, practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade or business, उन्हें पूरा अधिकार है किसी भी तरीके का ऑक्यूपेशन करने का या फिर किसी भी तरह का बिजनेस या ट्रेड करने का। अब आर्टिकल 19 के कुछ एक्सेप्शंस भी हैं। आर्ट राइट्स लाइक 19 clause D and 19 clause E can be restricted from the protection of scheduled rights. Rights under 19 clause G doesn't prevent state from making any law, that is divided into two parts, to demand professional or technical qualification for practicing any occupation or profession, trade or business. Okay, to control any trade, business, industry or service, whether to the exclusion complete or partial by the state. तो ये आर्टिकल 19 था। अब हम मूव फॉरवर्ड करते हैं आर्टिकल 20 की तरफ। प्रोटेक्शन इन रिस्पेक्ट of conviction for offences. No person shall be convicted of any offence except for violation of a law in force at the time of the commission of the act charged as an offence, subject to a penalty greater than the crime inflicted under the law in force at the time of the commission of the offence. No person shall be prosecuted and punished for the same offense more than once. मतलब कोई भी punishment जो है वो एक से ज़्यादा बार नहीं दी जा सकती. No person accused of any offense shall be compelled to be witness against himself. तो ये आर्टिकल 20 था। अब हम मूव फॉरवर्ड करते हैं आर्टिकल 21 की तरफ। प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ लाइफ एंड पर्सनल लिबर्टी, मतलब हमारी लाइफ की प्रोटेक्शन हो और हमें पर्सनल लिबर्टी मिले, पर्सनल आज़ादी मिले। नो पर्सन शैल बी डिप्राइव्ड ऑफ हिज लाइफ और पर्सनल लिबर्टी एक्सेप्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू प्रोसीजर एस्टैब्लिश्ड बाय लॉ। उन्हें पूरी तरीके से अपनी लाइफ जीने का अधिकार है तब तक जब तक कोई लॉ इस्टेब्लिश ना हो। अब हम आर्टिकल 21A की बात करते हैं, विच इज राइट टू एजुकेशन। द स्टेट शैल प्रोवाइड फ्री एंड कंपल्सरी एजुकेशन टू ऑल चिल्ड्रन ऑफ द एज ऑफ 6 to 14 ईयर्स। स्टेट के पास जो अधिकार है कि उन्हें पूरी तरीके से फ्री एंड कंपल्सरी एजुकेशन प्रोवाइड करें चिल्ड्रंस को जो कि 6 to 14 ईयर्स हैं, विच इज आर्टिकल 21 इज इंसर्टेड बाय 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002, Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009. It is also coming under Article 21A. Now we were talking about Article 22, no person who is arrested shall be detained in custody without being informed. जब तक उन्हें इन्फॉर्म नहीं किया जाएगा किसी भी पर्सन को, तब तक उन्हें अरेस्ट नहीं किया जा सकता. Detain the right to consult and to be defended by a legal practitioner of his choice. उन्हें लीगल प्रैक्टिशनर रखने का पूरा अधिकार है. दूसरा, prisoner shall be produced in court within a period of 24 hours after arrest. ये आपको समझ में आ गया कि 24 आवर्स उन्हें मिलते हैं कि अपने को प्रेजेंट करें आफ्टर अरेस्ट. एक्सक्लूडिंग द टाइम फॉर जर्नी टू द कोर्ट. जर्नी टू द कोर्ट जो होता है बीच में टाइम, उसे एक्सक्लूड करके. शैल नॉट बी डिटेन इन कस्टडी बियॉन्ड द सेट पीरियड विदाउट द अथॉरिटी ऑफ अ मैजिस्ट्रेट. अब कुछ एक्सेप्शन है आर्टिकल 22 के. आर्टिकल 22 क्लॉज 1 and article 22 clause 2 doesn't apply to enemy alliance, that is in जिसके साथ इंडिया वॉर में है. person arrested or detained under preventive detention. Preventive detention, that is the imprisonment of a person to prevent him from committing further offenses. No law can authorize preventive detention for a longer period than 3 months. In order to extend the period of preventive detention longer than 3 months, an advisory body consisting of high court judges should be constituted. Detained person shall be given an opportunity to defend in court. अपने को बचाने के लिए पूरी अपॉर्चुनिटी देनी चाहिए जो पर्सन डिटेन्ड है. अब ये आपको समझ में आ गया राइट टू फ्रीडम. अब हम बात करते हैं राइट अगेंस्ट एक्सप्लॉयटेशन विच इज आर्टिकल 23 एंड 24. आर्टिकल 23, that is prohibition of traffic in human beings and forced labor. Traffic in human beings, beggar and other similar forms of forced labor are prohibited. मतलब जो beggars हैं, human beings हैं, जो ट्रैफिकिंग में हैं, उन्हें प्रोहिबिट किया जाए, उन्हें बंद किया. एक्सेप्शन है, स्टेट कैन इम्पोज कंपल्सरी सर्विस फॉर पब्लिक पर्पस. अब हम बात करते हैं आर्टिकल 24 की. प्रोहिबिशन ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट ऑफ चिल्ड्रन इन फैक्ट्रीज. No child below the age of 14 years shall be employed to work in any factory or mine or engaged in any hazardous employment. So, this is all about the right against exploitation. अब हम बात करते हैं right to freedom of religion, which is Article 25 to 28. First of all, we should understand what is Article 25 states. It states freedom of conscience and free profession, practice and propagation of religion. All persons are equally entitled to freedom of conscience and the right freely to profess, practice and propagate religion. मतलब उन्हें कोई भी रिलीजन अपनाने का पूरा अधिकार है. This article does not prevent the state from making laws to regulate or restrict any economical, financial, political or secular activities associated with religious practices. Provide for social welfare and reform or the throwing open of Hindu religious institution of a public character to all classes and sections of Hindus. Article 26, which states religious denominations have rights to establish and maintain institutions for religious and charitable purpose, to manage its own affairs in matters of religion, to own and acquire movable, immovable property, to administer such property in accordance with law. So, Article 25 and Article 26 we have discussed. Now, moving forward to Article 27. No person shall be compelled to pay any taxes for the promotion or maintenance of any particular religion or religious denomination. Article 28, which states no religious instruction shall be provided in any educational institution wholly maintained out of state funds. Educational institution administered by the state but established under any endowment or trust shall impact religious instruction. Not demand any person to take part in any religious instructions. Not demand any person to attend any religious worship without his will. If such a person is minor, his guardian has to give his consent to attend any religious worship. मतलब गार्जियन के पास पूरी अथॉरिटी होती है जब वो माइनर हो कि वो रिलीजियस वर्शिप में पार्टिसिपेट कर सकता है कि नहीं. अब हम बात करते हैं कल्चरल एंड एजुकेशनल राइट्स की, जो है आर्टिकल 29 एंड 30। आर्टिकल 29 की बात करते हैं, जो स्टेट करता है कि राइट टू कंजर्व द डिस्ट्रिक्ट लैंग्वेज, script and culture. Educational institution maintained or aided out of state funds cannot deny admission on grounds of religion, race, caste and language. अब हम बात करते हैं आर्टिकल 30 की। Minorities have right to establish and administer educational institution based on religion or language. State shall not discriminate any minority educational institution based on religion or language. So it's all about cultural and educational rights. अब कुछ ऐसे राइट्स हैं जो फॉरेन नेशनल्स पे अप्लीकेबल नहीं है। दैट इज आर्टिकल 15 राइट अगेंस्ट डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, आर्टिकल 16 राइट टू इक्वालिटी इन पब्लिक एम्प्लॉयमेंट, आर्टिकल 19 राइट टू फ्रीडम, right to contest in election, right to vote in assembly and parliament election. Article 29 right to language, script or culture, right to admission into any educational institution. Article 30 right to establish and administer educational institution. These are the rights which are not applicable to foreign nationals. अब हम बात करते हैं right to constitutional remedies, that is article 32. The right to move to the Supreme Court by appropriate proceedings for the enforcement of the right is guaranteed. Supreme Court can issue directions or order or writs for the enforcement of rights. Parliament by law empower any other court to exercise all or any or powers exercisable by the Supreme Court under clause 2. That is article 32 clause 2. The right guaranteed by this article shall not be suspended except as otherwise provided by this constitution. Under this, there are some writs under article 32: habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto and certiorari. So we will further discuss about the writs. Article 32, which is the heart and soul of the constitution, ये फंडामेंटल राइट का पार्ट है और ये कहता है कि हमें पूरा राइट है टू हैव अ फंडामेंटल राइट. The overall aspect of this article is to bring a smoother government and effective government. Under this article, there are writs which can be issued. These writs are applicable to fundamental right under Article 32. Similarly to Article 32, we have Article 226. Article 32, which is for Supreme Court and not applicable to non-fundamental rights, customary rights and statutory rights. Article 226, which is applicable to High Court. It is applicable to fundamental rights as well as legal rights, which is more broader than compared to 32. Article 32. Okay. Article 32 is for Supreme Court. Article 226 is for High Court. There are 5 types of writs issued under Article 32, which is derived from English law and where it is known as prerogative writs. Writs are issued from English law and known as prerogative writs. It is issued in the exercise of prerogative of the king, described as fountain of justice, which means to maintain the justice we have writs. Okay. So here is a trick to remember the writs. Hello Mr. Please come to question, where H stands for in hello habeas corpus, Mr. M stands mandamus, please, P stands prohibition, C stands certiorari, Q stands quo warranto. So let us start with the explanation of the writs. First writ is habeas corpus, which means to have a body. Let us understand what is habeas corpus. If a person is detained unlawfully by the court and he or his family members can approach to court and say that I have been detained unlawfully. Please explain this. The idea is to safeguard the rights of the individual. So habeas corpus cannot be issued detention is lawful, detention is outside the jurisdiction of the court, detention is by contempt of court. In all other cases, the idea is to have to body to protect the individual and there is no unlawful detention. He or she can approach the court to get the case solved. So here is all about habeas corpus. The second is mandamus, which means we command, issued by the court to public official asking, I am not able to do it or I don't want to do it, he said. The idea is that court has the right to command over the public office to ask about the public duties that have to perform at time. It cannot be issued against a private individual or body to enforce departmental institutions or instructions that does not possess statutory force when the duty is discretionary or not mandatory. To enforce a contractual obligation against the president and governors, against the chief justice of high court. So it's all about the mandamus. So let us understand the more writs. Now we will talk about the next writ, that is prohibition. That means to forbid. आपने ये स्टेटमेंट तो सुना ही होगा कि प्रिवेंशन इज बेटर देन क्योर. इसमें यह है कि अगर जजमेंट अनाउंस होने से पहले मिस्टेक को प्रिवेंट कर दिया जाए देन प्रोहिबिशन रिट यूज होता है. यूज तब होता है जब लोअर कोर्ट ने अपने जजमेंट अनाउंस ना कर दिए हों. अब ये किसके अगेंस्ट इशू होता है? जुडिशियल ऑडिटरीज एंड क्वासी जुडिशियल अथॉरिटीज. और ये कहाँ एप्लीकेबल नहीं है? एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव अथॉरिटीज, लेजिस्लेटिव बॉडीज, प्राइवेट इंडिविजुअल्स और बॉडीज. नेक्स्ट इज सर्जरी. दैट मीन्स टू बी सर्टिफाइड एंड informed, issued by higher court to lower court saying that you cannot do it, so you can transfer the case to high court or finish the case. Means in this, higher court says to the lower court that you should transfer the case to the high court. आप ट्रांसफर कर दीजिए केस को हाई कोर्ट में या फिर इस केस को खत्म कर दीजिए. अब ये इशू किसके अगेंस्ट होता है? जुडिशियल अथॉरिटीज एज वेल एज क्वासी जुडिशियल अथॉरिटीज. अब ये कहाँ अप्लीकेबल नहीं है? Against legislative bodies and private individuals or bodies. So these two writs you have explained. So let's move forward. Now we will talk about quo warranto authority, which means by what authority? Issued by the court to inquire into a legal issue that a person has to the public offices. That is, any person can bring it. So we have complete things about the writs. We have already understood what is writ and different type of writs. अब हम बात करते हैं आर्टिकल 33, 34 and 35. So let us begin with article 33, where the parliament can restrict or abrogate by law fundamental rights in the application to the members of armed forces, parliamentary forces, police forces and intelligence agency, the forces charged with the maintenance of public order. A parliamentary law enacted under Article 33 can also exclude the court-martials tribunal established under the military law from the writ jurisdiction of the Supreme Court and High Court, so far as the enforcement of the fundamental rights are concerned. So, we moving forward to the Article 34. While martial law is in force in any area, the fundamental rights can be restricted. That means fundamental rights are restricted. The Supreme Court held that the declaration of martial law does not ipso facto result in the suspension of the writ of habeas corpus. Article 35 states that the power to make laws to give effect to certain specified fundamental rights shall vest only in Parliament and not in state legislature. So by the end of lecture we should understand what is martial law and national emergency differences. Martial law affects only fundamental rights, whereas national emergency affects fundamental rights, center-state relation, distribution of revenues, Legislative powers between center and state may extend the tenure of the parliament. Martial law suspends the government and ordinary law courts, whereas national emergency continues the government and ordinary law courts. Martial law imposed in some specific area of the country, and national emergency can be imposed in a whole country or in a specific part. Martial law, no specific provision in the constitution, it is implicit. National emergency has a specific and detailed provision in the constitution, it is explicit. So it's all about the fundamental rights. Thank you.